This is the sixth version of our acceleration program, which has been established as one of the best technology acceleration programs in the country. We are striving to help the local technology community with all our resources and eventually all together help make Greece a technology hub.
Hellenic Petroleum is pleased to be the exclusive sponsor for the energy track of this year's startup competition by the MIT Enterprise Forum. We are supporting new technologies in energy and transport by participating in R&D projects because we believe in the new ideas and the creative thinking of all of you.
It's another year where I see great startups with very...
Good evening. Deputy Minister of Education and Religious Affairs, ladies and gentlemen. It's so nice to welcome you here. On behalf of the Greek chapter of the MIT Enterprise Forum, I would like to welcome everyone to our 6th annual awards night for the MITEF Greece Startup Competition participants. So very much has changed since when I stood there last year, welcoming judges, participants, our supporters, sponsors, and community members. So very much have changed for all of us. Originally, we had to change the entire program and convert it to an online process in order to select the teams from the general, energy, and maritime tracks that qualified to this year's finals. At the very beginning of the lockdown, we thought we faced a complicated but though challenging task. But through ingenuity, creativity, and most of all determination, we stand before you, bringing the best of Greece to showcase to our country and to the world. And as the saying says, necessity is the mother of invention, and you used a lot of ingenuity during the lockdown. I would like to thank Hellenic Petroleum for the second straight year. They are the exclusive sponsor of the Energy Specialty Track, a competition track that finds and showcases innovative applications of new technology in the energy field. Thank you, Hellenic Petroleum, for making this possible for us. This year, we introduced a new track, the Maritime, attracting technology-driven ventures that focus in the maritime sector. We decided to invest in this track because we believe that the maritime industry is ripe for technology-driven innovation. And of course, we're fortunate to have the largest maritime cluster in our own backyard. We had several applications from abroad, but the requirements we had for physical presence discouraged most of them to come and join. But this is our first pilot. We have learned a lot, and we will improve. But beyond these two special tracks, we have many more ideas for specialty tracks, and we would appreciate and welcome suggestions from all of you in this matter. Yesterday, in a closed event, the judging and evaluation process took place. The 15 finalist team that pitched live in front of the judging panel was graded, and the winners were selected. However, the formal announcement will take place tonight. The results are still a secret for this year's finalists. We will start with hearing for our esteemed sponsors, guest speakers, and accomplished entrepreneurs from the alumni of the previous MITEF Greece competitions. Then, in order of all of you to become familiar with the innovation and technologies of our specialists, we will feature a short presentation by all our finalist teams. We'll close the event with the award ceremony. After the award ceremony, please join us for a light reception just to get to know each other. So, without further delay, ladies and gentlemen, let me introduce you to our new chairman, Gerasimos Peridakis, and welcome Gerasimos here on stage.
Thank you, Antigone. Good afternoon, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. It is my pleasure, as President of MIT Enterprise Forum Greece, to welcome you all in the 2020 edition of the finals of our startup competition tonight. After months of preparations from the participating startups, MITF Greece, the team, the judges, and despite the challenges we face, I'm very excited to see this event finally coming true. I would like to dedicate a special thanks to the team and our board of directors, Antigone, Vasilis Prokostantinou, the vice chairman, for their tireless work dedication, and leadership. I also want to thank our partners, mentors, and sponsors, without whom this event would not be possible, as well as to our distinguished judges for dedicating their time and effort in selecting the most deserving teams to be the winners of this year's competition. This year, we received an overwhelming amount of interest in terms of applicants, and I would like to congratulate everyone for being here tonight. This is a clear indication that the Greek startup and entrepreneurial ecosystem that we are exploring is a relevant one, and more importantly, an exciting one. And entrepreneurial culture is the foundation to any thriving economy and society. My favorite thing about innovation is that it brings together two sides of the same coin. It offers solutions to help overcome current difficulties in our societies, while at the same time creating new jobs and opportunities, therefore supporting the development of our economies through the new activities that it generates. Being here today for our startups is already a very big step. It means that they have already distinguished themselves as innovating leaders in this space, and they have taken the initiative to give themselves this unique opportunity to explore the startup world from a new lens, from a new perspective. I'm very pleased to see many familiar faces in this audience of supporters, sponsors, and bright visionaries who share a passion for innovation, an intellectual curiosity to learn, and a desire to transform this world we live through new ideas. And I will never forget the first time that I sat as an investor listening to a startup pitch. It was approximately 15 years ago in a glass building here in Athens, and together with 3 investors, and I noticed the passion and the sparkle in the eyes of the founders when they were speaking about their innovative ideas. I felt their excitement, their desire to achieve their dream. And motivation comes from working on things we care about. And don't even let anyone to tell you that you cannot do something. If you have a dream and you want to achieve it, you just go and get it. So look around you. Look at the place sitting next to you, the person sitting next to you. And for those who are watching us live, you're going to see them all live on stage shortly. So these are the visionaries and the go-getters that we need. These are the people who have never stopped chasing their dream, no matter how hard it is to achieve it. It is those who go the extra mile who find success. And our finalists tonight are part of those go-getters who have gone the extra mile, which has brought them all here tonight with us. They're building and they're developing ideas that will transform the way we live today. And I invite you all to look at this opportunity and meet with them, listen to their stories, learn from their mistakes, challenge them, and more importantly, get inspired by them. These finals, they may last just a couple of hours, but the work that MIT Enterprise Forum Greece has done for these people and the success of these startups will go well beyond that. So I invite you all to explore further the various programs that MIT Enterprise Forum offers and to join us in this continuous journey towards growing and strengthening this ecosystem. When we launched MIT Enterprise Forum Greece back in 2013, we stated that we wanted to help turn Greece into a global tech hub by 2021. We may have stretched our ambitions at that time, but events such as today's finals make me certainly feel much closer to that goal than when we hoped it would be over the last few years. So I'm personally very excited about the potential of this community that MIT Enterprise Forum has built today. And I would like to invite you to join us in serving this community with new ideas, new programs, new initiatives, until we reach our goal to make Greece a global tech hub. As Walt Disney once said, the way to get started is to quit talking and do the job. So, without any further delay, it is my honor and pleasure to bring on stage Professor Digalakis, who is the Deputy Minister of Education and Religious Affairs, to kick off the event. Thank you very much.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm really delighted to be here in this wonderful startup competition of MIT Enterprise Greece, which promotes and supports innovation and startup entrepreneurship. As Mr. Freeman already argued, not to innovate is to die. Innovation requires creativity, out-of-the-box thinking in approaching and solving problems. In recent decades, technological development has been moving at a rapid pace. Innovation and groundbreaking ideas define the business landscape in new terms, create new opportunities for those who possess knowledge and high training. I have personal experience of the way innovation ecosystems work in North America. At the same time, I'm a person who likes data, who likes numbers, and I'm always still surprised every time I look at data on the effect that a single university, even with the characteristics of MIT, can have on real economy. If we look at the budget of MIT, it's $3 billion a year. This, if we compare it to the budget of Greek universities and look at the operational expenses of all Greek universities combined, the number is about 100 million. So MIT, a single university, is 30 times the budget of all Greek universities together. So this sounds big, but wait until you hear the next numbers. The next numbers tell us this: the total sum of the economic activity of companies founded by MIT graduates could rival the GDP of some of the largest national economies of the planet. 4.6 million high-skilled employees, jobs, positions have been created, and this is equivalent to the total number of jobs even in some of Europe's average economies like Austria or Belgium. So the transfer of technology, of knowledge from the universities and research centers to the real economy is what counts. And on this side, our country has very good results in research, but not so good results on transferring the knowledge in our universities and research centers to the real economy. This has improved. The truth is it has improved somewhat in the last few years. It follows an upward trend. Our ranking in Europe has improved, but still we have a lot of work to do. A lot of things remain to be done in this aspect to cover the distance that separates us from the other European countries. And the difficulties have been identified: productivity, competitiveness, export direction of our country. We are lagging behind in the integration of innovation. The produced research fails to become a marketable product or a service, and this undermines an essential condition for the creation of sustainable economic growth with a great number of well-paid jobs. So we need to do much better in turning our research into new and better services and products if we want to remain competitive in the global marketplace. So it's innovate or die. Our top priority in the Ministry of Education is to utilize our competitive advantages. And these are the significant availability of qualified scientific personnel, the high level of our universities and research centers, and the worldwide recognition of the Greek scientific publications. The recognition of Greek publications is well above the average of European countries or OECD countries. The second goal is to improve the points we're lagging behind. And where we lag behind is we need to strengthen and modernize our higher education. We need to internationalize our universities. We have taken a number of steps in this direction. And we need to establish a framework for patent, technology, transfer, and IPR, intellectual property rights. So in this sense, we are working with the Ministry of Development to prepare a new legal framework that will cover startups, IPR, technology transfer offices in universities and research centers. Most importantly, we need to create a friendly environment, and this is why these activities like MIT Enterprise Forum are very important. This will be the core of the production and transmission of knowledge, and also to transfer high technology in the productive economy. We need to jumpstart our innovation systems, not only policy measures, as I explained, but also cooperation between universities and research institutions with the business world. So this is why I want to declare my support to every action, which is aimed at the development of innovation in Greece. I'm here tonight to congratulate the participants in this competition, and I'm very confident in our potential. An example, when I was in the United States some years ago, we founded in '94 at SRI International, where I was working, the first spin-off of SRI. This was Nuance Communications. Nuance Communications is today a world leader in speech recognition. It entered the NASDAQ stock exchange back in 2000. And I'm telling you this because today, SRI International, after 26 years, is considered the spin-off city in the United States. It has dozens of companies spun off from SRI. It has created an ecosystem of innovation, and this is what we need to do in Greece. If we start, we have our first successful cases, then we have the legal framework, we have the culture, we can do it in Greece. And so I want to congratulate and thank MIT Enterprise Forum in Greece for its contribution to this effort, as well as Hellenic Petroleum, the sponsor. And I want to extend my warmest congratulations to all the talented teams who submitted their imaginative and ambitious ideas to be assessed for this competition. I wish you success and a creative path in your life and your scientific career. Thank you.
Thank you, Deputy Minister. And now I would like to welcome on stage Mr. George Alexopoulos, the General Manager of Group Strategic Planning and New Activities and Executive Member of Board Director of Hellenic Petroleum. Mr. Alexopoulos.
Thank you, Antigone. Minister, dear friends from the MIT Enterprise Forum, ladies and gentlemen, it's a great pleasure to be here with you tonight, even more so since I'm in a very familiar place for me. This is my school, so I really feel at home. And last but not least, because for a second year, we have decided to become the exclusive sponsors of the energy track of the MIT Enterprise Forum Greece Startup competition. A number of our people served as mentors, as judges, and in general participated in this great effort. And from what I understand, this year's competition, despite the difficult conditions during which it took place, has been very successful. More participations, and I would say just as good, perhaps better ideas, business proposals, some of which I think we will hear about tonight, and the awards will be presented. Let me tell you a little bit about our strategy as Hellenic Petroleum and try to relate that to the reason we are here tonight, which is new ideas and innovation, and investing in the future. We have recently announced a new strategy which has 3 pillars. The first pillar is do better what we already do. So improve energy efficiency, digitalize our operation, operational effectiveness, and so on. The second pillar is invest in our core business, which is downstream oil. We have already invested in the last decade upwards of 3 billion euros, so now we can build on a very strong basis of investment, leveraging several opportunities. But it is the third pillar I want to talk to you about. I suppose I'm a little biased because new activities is my domain, but I think it's the pillar which is by far the most relevant in today's discussion. And the third pillar is energy transition and innovation in this context. As you know, energy transition is one of the major challenges that we're facing today. And it's not happening just because we need to respond to climate change. We do. It's imperative that we do. We have to take mitigating action. This is only one of the reasons. It may be even the main reason. But it's also happening because a number of energy solutions are becoming more competitive. And this is happening through innovation. It is important to remember that there is no single solution for the energy transition. There's no silver bullet, as they say. It's going to be a combination of technologies that will take us down the optimal path for energy transition. Let me pick transport as an example, which is something that all of us are at least somewhat familiar with. What is the solution for transport? It's going to be a combination of solutions. We believe that electrification is an excellent solution for a number of areas within transport. Light vehicles, urban transport, some medium-duty vehicles, it's a clearly superior solution. And that is why we are investing in e-mobility, and we will be talking more about it in the very near future as one of our new initiatives. So clearly, electrification is part of the solution, but it's not the only solution. Why is that? The reason is that there may be other low-carbon alternatives for other areas of transport. For example, can you guess how big a battery would need to be, based on today's technology, of course, for a large cargo vessel? It would have to be several times the weight of the vessel itself. So electrification doesn't seem to be the right solution for that. But there are other solutions. We are looking very closely to low-carbon fuels, and there's also hydrogen that's becoming more and more relevant and could be competitive in a few years from now. So it's going to be a combination, and we are investing in a number of those low-carbon activities: renewables, biofuels, low carbon footprint liquid fuels. What do I mean by that? It sounds like a buzzword. You start with reducing the energy intensity of the process producing the fuels, but clearly that is not enough. And then you are using increasingly low carbon feedstocks, wastes, biofuels. Eventually, in several years from now, it's not happening yet, you can see solutions using synthetic liquid fuels with carbon coming from the atmosphere itself or being recycled from the output of other processes. We have set an ambitious goal of reducing our carbon footprint by 50% by 2030 through a combination of low carbon activities but also relentless focus on the energy efficiency of all our activities, industrial and commercial. We support innovation. That's why we're here. That's why we actively participate in a number of research projects on advanced biofuels, on renewable hydrogen, on carbon capture and utilization, low-carbon synthetic fuels, decarbonization of our refining process, and digitalization. And of course, we will always support education. Education is the basis for innovation. So since 2013, we have supported more than 50 postgraduate students with scholarships to go and study in top European and American universities, and we will continue to do that because this is really investing in the future of our country and of the world in general. I don't want to tire you with further remarks. I want to congratulate all the participants in this very interesting competition and thank MIT Enterprise Forum for another year of excellent cooperation. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Alexopoulos. Unfortunately, due to COVID-19 restrictions, our gold sponsor, UBS, couldn't be with us tonight, but we'll watch their welcome recorded. So, soon we'll start. We'll start with Managing Director of Wealth Management of UBS, Thomas Eisening. Here it is.
Kalispera σας, Kyries και κύριοι. It's a great honor and pleasure for me to extend our greetings to you, dear guests, colleagues from MITEF, and particularly also to you, the finalists of the MITEF Greece Startup Competition. My name is Thomas Eisenring, and I'm heading the High Net Worth and Private Client franchise of UBS in Zurich. We have been excited until the very last moment to join you live for celebrating and enjoying this great moment together with you. However, unfortunately, a tiny little organism and the extensive consequences it temporarily implies on all of us has crossed our plans. Nonetheless, we are with you at this moment, even if not physically, as technology wins over distance. With lots of passion, innovation and mindset, and experimental flair, you have been working hard on the realization of your vision and developed your ideas to a point where you are ready to take off with your startup company. Over the past months, MITEF supported you with know-how and experience in many ways to further fine-tune your project and enable you to pitch it successfully. We congratulate the winners of this competition and wish you, but also the other participants, much success and stamina to complete what you have started so far as entrepreneurs and to bring your technology to the benefit of society. As UBS and part of our long-term commitment to your country, we are proud to collaborate with MITEF Greece and to support as sponsors its efforts to drive technological innovation and entrepreneurship in Greece. As a leading global wealth manager, UBS has always focused on excellence, innovation, and advancement of technological developments in many ways. Technology has and will always be a key driver to the further advancement of our society. Our world is changing fast, and we are in the midst of the next industrial revolution. As we speak now, COVID-19 is just accelerating various game-changing technological megatrends which have been kicked off already some time ago. Digital transformation, big data, e-commerce, robotics, health technology, just to name a few of them. COVID-19 unintentionally created a live test field for us as well. Within just a few weeks, we had up to 90% of our global staff working remotely with no issues in executing trades and transactions for our clients in a highly volatile trading environment. It evidenced that we were long moving in the right direction of applying technology and hence have been able to scale fast. Being prepared for the unexpected is an important factor that needs to be in our whole DNA these days. As an innovative company, UBS is itself supporting and driving innovation through various internal and external platforms. It also strongly monitors and follows this from a longer-term economical and financial perspective through its Chief Investment Office. It provides insight into the views and scenarios of technological developments and impacts to its clients and prepares the way for future-oriented, promising investments which it systematically implements in our client portfolios. To provide you with a deeper look into how we see technology and how we drive, support innovation as a bank, I'm happy to introduce to you my colleague, Dr. Veronika Lange, who is the Global Head of Digital Engagement at Group Technology. She is responsible for managing strategic innovation projects and driving innovation actively within internal teams and with the external ecosystem. We are in for some interesting insight. So, without further ado, let me hand over to Veronika. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Thomas, very much for the introduction and welcome to you in Athens. It's a pity I cannot be with you personally today. I would have very much enjoyed to get to know you in person and also understand what you are working on and how you innovate out in Greece. As Thomas outlined, I'm heading digital engagements and have built up innovation within UBS as a global function over the past years, and I'm very thrilled to be able to share some of our steps in the journey and outcomes from digital initiatives that we've been driving at UBS. It's very clear that the global megatrends that we see of globalization, but also megatrends in the sense of new values and ethics and what the new digital generation is bringing to the table is changing industries, and not just banking industry, but really across the board, it's leaving its impact. And it's very true what Justin Trudeau said at Davos at the World Economic Forum in 2018, when he said that the pace of change will never be as slow again. And I think he didn't really anticipate what we would learn with the coronavirus on how fast digitalization can actually accelerate and change our personal lives as much as our work lives. So it's been quite a journey, I think, for all of us. But it also brings out the best, because in these challenges, what do? We innovate and we change and we adapt. Looking back just 10, 12 years, it's quite impressive when we think how digitalization has really entered our lives. Any of these apps, from Uber over to Spotify or WhatsApp, haven't really been out there 10, 12 years ago. And now we can barely think about not having them anymore. And I'm very sure that some of you are working on exciting new technology that is attempting to do exactly the same thing, change the way we live and work in 2030. And how to understand which of these trends will be coming through and which ones of the innovations are really going to be successful is a very difficult task. It's not just about a new app or a bit of a new digital experience. The disruption from digitalization can be massive. Just a few figures from the newspaper industry or from the music industry show that within 10 years, you can really lose half of your revenues, or even everything, if you happen to be in the film industry in the late 90s. And I've been there. Within a few years, literally, that whole market was gone. And we're trying to understand where is that tipping point, where does really the curve of innovation accelerate? And it's very important to understand that as a bank for our clients so that we can give them the right advice, where and when to invest. But also for ourselves in terms of understanding where we need to innovate and what opportunities emerging technology gives us to improve our client services. I like the comparison between Daimler and Tesla. And it's not just stunning how basically from being at par with valuation, with market valuation by 2016, today Tesla has a rocketing 240 billion market valuation, whereas Daimler has dropped down, despite selling many more cars and having been around as an incumbent in the car industry for so many years. So what's the difference? It's really about looking at the business model behind. And that's really key for anyone who wants to change his industry. Not just digitizing the existing, but thinking ahead about what you can do and how you can improve the business model. And also thinking, what is the business you're really in? When I reflect on the past 6 months, I tend to think that maybe car manufacturers are not just in the business of providing a vehicle that brings me from A to B, but about bringing people together. I don't need my car anymore. I can just get on a call or a video conference to get to speak to people like yourself. So in essence, at some point in time, maybe in 2030 or 2040, I won't even need a car to go on vacation because I can just do virtual journeys. We'll see. But this is the power of digital disruption and new technologies that they really make us rethink what the purpose is and what the value it is we bring to clients. How do we go about it? So at UBS we have a wide innovation program, and we're capturing ideas from the outside, from the ecosystem, but also internally through hackathons and innovation competition. Around 1,000 ideas every year that are being screened and evaluated across all kinds of technologies, from artificial intelligence over blockchain, cloud computing, or data-driven ideas. And about 100 of those we execute and validate in our innovation spaces and labs. We do proof of concepts and try to find out whether the hypotheses of those initial ideas are really holding up. And I want to share a couple of examples of where we've seen successful innovation come out of our activity, and also how important collaboration with the likes of yourself, with startups and tech entrepreneur, has been on that journey. For example, automation. This is one of the key focus for us as technology is driving cost down and also putting more pressure on margins. We're constantly looking to become more efficient. One of the areas that we're heavily investing is to make use of artificial intelligence, specifically machine learning, but also voice-related technologies, to make our lives easier, better, faster, and the client experience as well. One of those examples is our UBS Assistant that our client advisors and asset management can use to record client meeting results and to automatically have robots execute activities after the meeting. So quite a relief and an important step to free up time for the client advisors to spend with their clients and not on administrative tasks. Another area of automation is much more disruptive. We've been part of the team that has given birth to the idea of a utility settlement coin. That is a form of digital cash that has been developing out of our research in blockchain technology. What we're trying to achieve with this is really to establish a whole new market infrastructure for settlements where we can settle payments not in 1 or 2 days, but instantly, with a representation of cash in a digital format. The company we've formed together with now over 30 banks and partners invested in is Finality. So watch out how Finality might change the way we settle payments in the future. These are important innovations for us to look at to become more efficient. But it's also to really build better products that we're trying to innovate on. We're using data analytics to predict market prices or performance, to understand the better approaches for our investment portfolios on a very regular way, and testing out new tools and algorithms constantly. But we're also adding in new solutions to our platforms to bring in new components that will help our clients to do their business better. In Switzerland, for example, we've brought in Bexio, which is an accounting software, and it's connected to the e-banking so that people can very easily and swiftly initiate payments or look at their cash flow positions out of the same platform. Finally, it's not good enough just to build great products and be efficient in your processes. You also want to make sure that you leverage all of digital technology to become best at distribution. And platforms have become a very powerful space in many industries. Just thinking about Amazon and Alibaba, you're very well aware about those. So we've been also looking with quite a few ideas at where can we build platforms and where would they make sense. And we've used distributed ledger technology with 13 other banks in Europe to create a new platform for trade finance, where we can give our corporate clients the ability to agree on a trade, to put in the contract, and once a shipment for purchased goods for that trade have arrived, payments are being executed automatically. So much more secure than just agreeing about a payment whenever, wherever, and much less complicated than letter of credits, which can take a lot of time and consume a lot of paper. So really taking the best of that new distributed ledger technology and creating a new platform that serves clients for that specific purpose. But we also believe that wealth is much more than just the money you have in your bank account. And tokenization gives us the opportunity to digitalize other assets, alternative and assets that haven't been banked before. So think of art, think of collectibles, jewelry, precious metals, or even real estate. All of these assets are physical, but can be represented as a token digitally. And once a product is digital, you can distribute it digitally. So exchanges, digital exchanges like SDX in Switzerland, are starting to establish themselves to become the new platforms for trading these tokenized digital assets. And we're very much collaborating with those providers and parties to make sure that we'll be very much at the forefront of offering such tokenized assets to clients and help them understand their total wealth view in the future as well. So something that will still take a bit of time, but that is a very promising and interesting space to be in. Finally, I want to come back to one of the mega trends that's really important for me and for UBS, sustainability. We've been living over the capacity of the resources of this planet for quite some time, and it's important that we understand the impact we're making. Sustainable investing is one of the areas that Thomas and his team are, with the wealth management colleagues, are very strongly focusing on. On the innovation side, we're working with startups and companies to understand how we can leverage new technologies, connectivity, data from Internet of Things and others to bring together measurement for impact and help understand how basically an investment or a donation is panning out. How many children have been vaccinated? How many trees have been planted? You want to collect that data and be sure about the impact you're financing. So with ICSO, a startup we have developed an impact bond prototype that we are currently trying out to see if that can be something we can scale greater going forward. Last not least, it's also about building completely new digital businesses. And sometimes it's hard when you're in a large corporation to be as agile as a startup can be. There's also some areas where we think it makes sense to step out of that established business we're having and looking at really capturing digital business right away. In Switzerland, just a few weeks ago, we've launched Key4, which is a mortgage platform, an entirely digital platform to capture new business in Switzerland. And that is important because this and other projects are really trying to also understand where is new opportunities outside of those markets that we've served in a traditional way so far. And last but not least, we're also rethinking, and there's great ideas coming from the inside of our organization as well, about how we can work differently. There's some exciting pilots that we have internally to see how we can use virtual realities and virtual meetings to establish better work opportunities or alignment or exchange between people that are globally working in different parts of the bank. But maybe also in the future, we'll have virtual meeting rooms to meet clients. It's something that we're investigating. So lots to come here as well. It's not so that we have all the skills and all the answers internally. No one has. The more important it is that we collaborate. And collaboration is really at the heart of our innovation strategy. We're working with universities like ITSE in Switzerland or the MIT or Stevens in the US. We're working with accelerators. We're talking to regulators and central banks and work with other banks as well. And startups and the new tech firms are very important parts too. With those companies, we find solutions through our innovation work that we sometimes integrate seamlessly into our platforms, and sometimes we have distribution or other partnerships with them. This slide here shows quite nicely how many solutions for our retail and commercial clients in Switzerland actually coming from collaboration with startups and other companies. Being it the digital safe, being it our video onboarding solution or mobile payments. All of these have been built in collaboration with other companies. And the way we go about it is that we clearly do active searching for startups, for problem spaces or ideas we're having. And it would have been very interesting to be personally in Greece, but I make sure that we follow up and understand fully all of your great solutions that you have. And then we also have idea competitions like our UBS Future Finance Challenge that we launch every 2 years and where we invite people to send us their best solutions and ideas as well. All of these leads of startups and ideas need to be screened, and over the years we've developed a framework which I thought might be interesting for you to share in terms of how we look at solutions and new ideas and how we evaluate them. And what we've come up with is what we call the 6P framework. We're basically looking at 6 criteria to understand if there's an interesting fit. The first one is to see, what is this proposition? What is the company proposing? Is it really fulfilling a new need or a need that isn't well served today? Is the technology pioneering? Is it different? Is there patents on it? Thirdly, we look at the potential. How much revenue potential is there, or how much cost savings can we achieve for that solution? And then, very important, how practical is it? Is it something that can scale and roll out? And we see that quite often, that there's quite a few startups that have brilliant ideas, but it's very hard for them to gain traction in global markets. And this is where collaboration sometimes can be very helpful with larger players. The fifth criteria is the plan. Does the company, does the startup have a proper plan? How to grow, how to scale, what is needed to be successful? And last not least, the proposer. Who are the people behind that startup or that company? What are their skills, their experience, their track record, and their passion? So with all of these criteria, we screen and select the companies that we see potential with, and we work with them in the various innovation spaces we have globally. Zurich, London, New York, Singapore and Hong Kong are our main locations where we have labs and spaces where we can collaborate with partners in the ecosystem. So being out there and being at an event like MITEF has been organizing is very important because we learn about new solutions and what's the art of the possible. And likewise, we can share what we're working on and what our key assumptions are. So I look forward to a really interesting discussions, and I wish you a lot of success over the coming days and your future. Thank you.
Good evening. We're going to connect with Veronica in a minute, so prepare your questions. She had very interesting remarks in technology and what UBS is looking for. So think of what you're going to ask her. We have a couple of mics that will go around, and we are live. Hello, Veronica. Can you hear us?
Prepare your questions.
Hello? Okay, she can hear us. So let me start with a quick question and think about yours next. So I understand that UBS is an active investor in the startup space. If so, what sectoral focus do you have, and what stages are you looking for?
Hello, good evening. Can you hear us?
Yes. Yeah, we can hear you, Veronica. Technology is not very good always. I don't want to say that, but ever since Microsoft bought Skype, we have problems.
Hello, good evening. Can you hear us?
Yes. Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, I'll repeat the first question. So I understand from your presentation that you are an active investor in the startup space, and I would like to ask you what kind of sectoral focus do you have, and what stage of startups are you looking at?
We do have an investment fund that we are selectively using, and we do focus on startups and tech companies at an earlier but not very early stage. 10 millions upwards, I would say, is maybe a rough indication. And from a topic perspective, we're really interested in technology and solutions that are related to client engagements, but also those that would build financial and investment platforms or operational process improvements. So it can be pure tech, but it can also be very much fintech, as we'd say.
Okay, we are not at the 10 million investment point with the startups we have here, but until COVID is over and you are here in Athens, we will have some to get ready. Any questions from the audience? Or sure. So, go ahead.
Hi, Veronica. This is Jenny Livadaro from Hellenic Petroleum. I have a question for you. Can you hear me?
Not very well, but maybe otherwise, if Vasily can repeat it.
I will repeat it.
All right.
So the question from Jenny from Hellenic Petroleum is how you follow up with your investments, right?
Do you set milestones? So
do you set milestones? How do you follow them?
Thank you.
You mean You mean the milestones in the innovation process?
No, the milestones in the startups that you have invested in.
Obviously, I think it depends a bit on the maturity, and but clearly there's like any investor would do. I think there's two levels of how we look at it. One is the milestones that we achieve in applying or working with that startup internally on project work. The other one will be the development according to the plans that the company has itself, right? It's tracking against ambition and the plan that was agreed beforehand, and those can be financial, but also other targets in that business plan.
Okay. Anybody else? What are the top emerging technology trends that you focus for the next 3-4 years?
I think I alluded a little bit to it in the presentation, but surely what I find very interesting is when we look at how computing is changing. We see specialized chips and computers evolving. There's been special machines created just for mining cryptocurrencies, for example. The way how we treat and process data, with all the connected things and computing at the edge, I think there's a lot to come there. Personally, I've been very impressed, and also how fast in the COVID crisis we've been able to see track and tracing apps being developed all over the place, and a lot of those are really basing on technology that enables safe data transfer. And that is, I think, an area with the abundance of data that we see in all kinds of industries and in the private consumer lives, that is something very much to follow. So that, coupled with the way how we can get to artificial intelligence or machine learning solutions that have some sort of control around the models and ethics, is really sort of key areas that I'm interested in.
Super. We have a lot of AI here, so I'm sure you will enjoy the startups. People call COVID-19 the most efficient digital accelerator of our history. So over the past 4 months, which 3 technology trends surprised you the most? I mean, not the ones that you were expecting to see happening.
It's been really interesting, right? I think just being in the financial services industry, what it felt like is that banking was actually quite prepared for this crisis. I think we've handled big volumes. We've been able to scale up home office. We've been sort of, as an industry, quite a backbone in the crisis, I'd say. However, there's been this massive movement from people that were hesitant before towards mobile and contactless payments. That's been pretty impressive. Looking beyond our industry, I guess what I found really interesting was the innovative power. We've seen ventilators being produced from motors that were invented for car, screen wipers, or from companies that would do 3D printing for the airplane. So there's been really ventilators produced from all kinds of different industries. So people have been looking about how they can apply their skills to something else. And I guess that's really, and it was rightly said in one of the introduction speeches that we've heard earlier on. It's all about education. It's about skills and finding new ways about how you can use your skills in an environment or when challenges come up. So sometimes it's not necessarily always the new tech, but it's also taking tech that exists and applying it for something else or combining it in a new way. And that for me has been really the most impressive part of how the reactions of the crisis have come along.
So we have a lot of these interesting stuff also here, and we thank you for joining us over Skype. We're looking forward to the next opportunity where we'll have you here in person with Tommy, and you can follow the rest of the event online, and we'll stay in touch. Again, thank you for your kind support and for your very interesting insights. Good night.
Thank you very much. And
thanks a lot
for having us in this format. Thank you.
So, Adioni?
Well, thank you, Vasilis. Thank you, UBS. So now we are welcome on stage Jason Stefanatos, which is the Business Development Manager of DNV and sponsor of the Maritime track for a short presentation. Jason?
Good evening from my side. Thank you very much for the introduction. While waiting for the presentation, I would like to say that we're quite happy for the first year to be part of this competition and to see that many new ideas come. And also we are quite happy to see that for the first year there is a maritime track included in the tracks for the ideas. I will start with two metrics that we use in the shipping industry. One is that 90% of the global transported goods will pass through a vessel at some point of their transportation. And especially for Greece, this is quite important because approximately 20% of this fleet is owned by Greek companies. So both as an effect on the society, but also as for the Greek society, shipping industry is quite important. Okay. Yeah. So what is DNV? DNV is a classification society. In very short, what we do is we issue regulations for the safety of their vessels during their construction and operation. And we're quite in a privileged position to have approximately 1/4 of the global market. And for the past 50 years, we have been investing approximately 5% of our gross revenue into R&D and innovation. And this puts us in a leading position when it comes to innovative classification societies. Okay. Yeah. The order of the day is that the future is here, but not evenly distributed. And that means not only within the shipping industry, but also among different industries. The shipping industry has the reputation, and it's quite true, that it's a traditional shipping, traditional industry. That means that it's very reluctant to change. The saying of a chief engineer is, if it works, you don't change it. So doing innovation in this industry is quite, maybe a bit challenging. Of course, as the previous speaker said, the COVID lockdown was a good accelerator, but still there are quite a lot of technologies the past years that have been accelerating this trend towards changing and innovating. In shipping, we have two levels. One is the onshore, the offices and the managing companies, and the other is the onboard, the vessels themselves. When it comes to the vessels, we have seen four main digital trends that have been accelerating the way to innovation. Internet of Things, increased bandwidth. Remember that vessels do not have a landline, so bandwidth is the most important. Cloud, and of course, machine learning techniques. And all these have already created many technologies that have affected the way shipping industry works. From advanced designs with digital twins to advanced production with additive manufacturing, 3D printing, the whole supply chain of spare materials for vessels have changed, and the vessel utilization or voyage optimization are other ones. And all these in the maritime industry lead to something that is called centralization. We have seen that in many industries so far. We are seeing the first steps of centralization in the shipping industry. What is centralization is to run the operations from the safety of your office. I really like to think that in 2080, 2070, 2060, if you're quite optimistic, a naval architect student will discuss with a fellow student, and they will say that, imagine that back in 2020, people used to still sail on board the vessels, because they are quite harsh conditions. So all these centralization and innovation lead to the autonomy of the vessels. This is the major, the holy grail of the shipping industry. How to have big cargo vessels that run safely on their own, not on their own, remotely operated most probably, with competent people on shore, but without having life at risk. And when it comes to our business, we provide technical assurance. We are a technical assurance provider, and in the digital world, we can do this in two ways. One is to use digital technologies to provide assurance, as we do already now, and the other is to also provide assurance for digital assets. This is a new topic. It's something that is emerging currently. In more practical terms, we hear this digitalization buzzword quite a lot. What it means, it's not something radical. It's either do the same things in a more efficient way or do new things. Here there are some practical examples of what we do, from things that we already do now, being quite innovative, all the way to investigating more ideas for the future. I would like to state, to stay a bit on the remote surveys. This is something that became a differentiating factor for our company during the lockdown. So survey needs physical presence, and if you need to travel to the other part of the world and go through custom controls during the lockdown, it's quite a challenge. Having the technology and the procedures in place to do remote surveys is something quite important. In more practical terms, coming back to centralization, another field of innovation for the maritime industry is how to connect stakeholders. So far, in the shipping industry, we see that each stakeholder works on their own silos. So you have the owners, they have the information they have. You have, for example, you have a class which needs information, technical information from the vessels, and you have other vendors. One simple but yet innovative and yet to be developed way of improving efficiency significantly when it comes to the shipping industry is just building the ecosystem that will allow all the stakeholders to communicate with each other. And this is something that we have already done in cooperation with quite a few vendors. Okay. And the big question is what lies in the future. This is the big box with the questionnaire. And we think that forums like this and competition, especially competition like this, are the small answers that will give us gradually a response to what will come to the future. And with that, I would like to thank you for your attention and congratulate, of course, all the participants and, of course, the winners of this competition.
Thank you, Jason. And this is the last presentation for part one, because then we will continue with the short live pitches from the teams. And I would like to welcome on stage George Varvarelis, who is the founder and CEO of Augmenta. Augmenta was the second runner-up of the MITEF competition 2018 and very successful entrepreneur, as you will see. George?
Good evening, everybody. Thank you, MIT Enterprise Forum, for inviting us. I wouldn't say successful, yet at least. We are trying our best. So I'll start by a short 90-second video of hopefully comprehensive of what Augmenta is, and then I will follow up with my presentation about my short story about Augmenta, which is my first startup. This presentation is more intended to the entrepreneurs of the evening, so the people that will present after me. So sorry in advance if it's boring for the rest of the crowd. So let me start. Technology, right? Can you press play in the video, please, if it's possible, from there? No? That's before. That's after, actually. Yeah. These things always happen, right? Yeah.
Estimated that by 2050, there will be a 70% increase in food demand due to population's growth. Almost 90% of world's population depends on agriculture. More than ever, there is an imminent need to maximize field production. Farming is fairly considered to be one of the most challenging jobs on Earth. A typical farmer today is using mainly his personal experience to provide us with food of high quality and in adequate quantities. Today's practices, though, do not evolve efficiently, but technology does. Augmenta's powerful plug-and-play hardware, along with its machine learning and vision technology, was created by farmers for farmers, offering real-time field scanning and instant agricultural machinery control with never-seen-before precision. This user-friendly, state-of-the-art device ensures that every inch of the farm receives the exact amount of inputs that will make it reach its full potential and substantially augment the income of the farmer. At the end of the day, all the actionable field data are stored and visualized to a personal and secure web platform where the farmer has unlimited access. Augmenta offers yield production increase up to 12%, fertilizer savings up to 15%, product quality improvement up to 20%. Augmenta's goal is to improve the quality of farmers' life, protect the environment from excessive chemical use, and contribute to the meeting of increasing food demands. Augmenta, precision agriculture redefined.
So that's our company. For us, it all started in 2016. I was a postgraduate student in the Department of Electrical Engineering in the University of Thessaly in Volos. That's actually also my hometown. That's also where I met the current co-founder of the company, Jim. He's on the top left picture on the back. We are both coming from a farming background, and obviously we were studying, we were doing our PhD at the same time, so we shared some interest about this industry, the agtech industry, and we wanted to find solutions, find ideas, create innovative stuff, and put them to work. So something very, very interesting about our story is that in 2016, actually, we didn't have a clue about what a startup is. Like, this might sound exaggerating, but we knew what a company is because we've done a couple of things, like, for example, we were building some websites for a clothing store or something similar. So we knew about, this transaction. You do something, you get paid for it, but we had zero clue about, innovation company which starts with, zero money. Magical people come with tons of millions of dollars, and they give you these millions of dollars, and you build a team. This was like completely like out of this world for us. So think about this through the story, because back in 2016, as I said, like all our ideas were around the academia, like how to build a cool thesis, maybe write it in English, so we publish it in a cool journal, find a great job. That was all. So in 2016, I was actually working in the defense sector while I was doing my PhD. And the very first thing that we did, which played a huge role in our further development and the beginning of this company, was that we actually put our ideas to the test in the field. So we designed a prototype, a very commercially ready prototype, which is the bottom right thing. And then the very first thing that we did was that we took it out of the lab, we installed it in a tractor. This is easier said than done. You can understand this thing in a tractor going like 10 miles per hour, so it didn't work very well. Anyways, we did that. That's the idea. And then we also actually did some pilots, and we had some pretty cool results. The most amazing milestone of that era was actually on the top left side, this picture. This guy in the middle with the white shirt, his name is Luca Barilla. He's the founder of the pasta company. It's a huge company. He actually came in our village in Perivlepto Magnesias, which is like 100 population village near Volos. He came with his private plane and like an army of associates and bodyguards. Disclaimer, not only for us, obviously. He did some other stuff in Greece, but still, he came in our village. You know, it was such a big deal for a couple of guys that were doing their passion, right? So this was the very first indication for us that we had maybe something more than an academic prototype. So we tried to figure out how to evolve this, and this brought us to 2017. We very quickly realized that there is no entrepreneurship, no innovation in the middle of Greece, so we needed to get to Athens. We tried to find a way how to get in touch with people that are innovating in Athens, and we found an incubator, which is called EGG. It's an abbreviation of Enter, Grow, Go. It's from like the main sponsor is Eurobank, and we actually filed the proposal for that incubator. To our great surprise, we kind of like passed, and I'm saying great surprise because the questionnaire, like the proposal, was about business, right? About business planning and market segmentation and addressable market and things that we have zero clue about. So we didn't expect to pass at all. I guess we fooled them with cool tech, so we got in. And then we took the big step to leave our jobs in Volos and travel in Athens. We also left our PhD, which is not necessarily a great thing, but we did that. And then we installed ourselves in Athens and forced ourselves into this ecosystem. Don't let the bottom left photograph fool you, even though it's 6 people there. We had zero money at the time. All these people were working for free because they thought that this is cool, right? Exactly like us. So we worked and worked and worked. We kind of improved the academic prototype to what you see in the middle. Still nowhere near commercial. But then something amazing happened, which is critical to our story. Through the EGG program, we were super lucky. I was super lucky to actually travel to MIT in Boston, where I actually did the Start MIT program, which is a 3-week, very, very intensive program about entrepreneurship. And this was, I mean, the most exciting and at the same time demoralizing experience of my life. I went over there like on my horse, we are doing super cool stuff, amazing technology. And then I was speaking to a random guy in the classroom and he was doing like 10 times more amazing stuff. So it was, I'll never forget one day in Boston, I called Jim with Skype like late at night and I tell him like, we have no chance. There is 0% chance that with what we have right now, that we will either, like, we wouldn't even go outside, not Volos, like, nowhere, pretty much. So I told him, like, we need to pivot, we need to change our technology, we need to be on the verge, we need to really build state-of-the-art and not what we think of state-of-the-art from our safe place in Volos or in Greece, in Athens. So we pivoted super hard by the time I came back from Boston, and then 2018 started. This was a learning curve for all of us. I mean, we took part to MIT Enterprise Forum because we needed more. We needed to know more about how to scale up, how to build a team, things that we didn't know from our university. So we took part in MITEF here. This was an amazing experience as well. We were one of the lucky ones to attend this physically and meet mentors, not like this COVID situation where you do almost everything remotely. We were super lucky to meet actual MIT alumni as our mentors, to go through all this learning curve. And then with all this knowledge, we actually been able to raise our pre-seed round of funding from a venture capital in Greece, and we built a team of 9 people. On the top right, you can see the team. I'm not there because from the day we raised our money, I immediately left for the US, for Texas, where I attended the Mass Challenge Accelerator, which is one of the biggest accelerators in the world. So I've been in Austin, Texas for 6 months in 2018, and we actually won the gold prize on this competition, and that solidified in my mind that we at least have a cool concept, but it was time to stop, filing proposals for these accelerators. It was time to execute. It was time to organize all the things that we've learned and actually go out and find customers. So we stopped, taking part in accelerators and incubators, and then we started traveling around the world, installing units, systems in farmers, doing pilots all around the world. On the top, on the left, you see USA. It's like Wisconsin and Kansas. On the right it's Germany, exhibitions in Germany. In this next one, we actually more cool trips: Brazil, Argentina, Australia on the top left, and Brazil again on the right. This was again an era where we eliminate everything that we've learned. We've been learning about business planning, about scaling up, about all these financial stuff, how to present to investors, things like that. But then now come the customers, right? Like, you are trying now to convince a farmer in Brazil. I'm a random Greek guy. It didn't make sense, and it didn't work for the most of it. Like, we failed a lot at that point, and then we had few successes that pushed us forward, and they made us raise our seed round, which was significantly bigger. We raised 3.2 million in total in funding from Silicon Valley venture firm. This was the lead investor, at least, and that was the time where we really started to become a company, and that brings us to now. We are 21 people. We have the headquarters here in Greece, the engineering headquarters here in Greece. The actual headquarters is in Paris, France, and we also have a business development office in Texas. And yet again, we don't have a clue about what we are doing, because it always feels like you are entering a new stage in a game. Like, you know nothing. Now it's the whole question is about how do you scale? How do you manage 20+ people? So this stuff is completely new to us. On the left, I've put the feedback of our first commercial distribution deal. It's very exciting. That's why I have it in this presentation. This was north $500,000 distribution deal, our very first one, and it was an amazing development for the company. And about the future, we don't know. We will open our Series A round in October of 2020. It will be a significantly bigger one. Things are going great on the commercial side, besides the COVID situation. And I want to wrap up this presentation with 3 things that are, again, most of you know this, but the entrepreneurs like myself didn't know this back in 2016. So not having a clue is fine, especially if you do this for the first time. I feel that this is a necessary evil. Like, this will happen. I guess that this will keep happening no matter the years I've been doing this. The second, maybe I didn't stress this enough in the presentation, but in every single slide, in every single picture, there is a person that has been helping us, and has been helping us without an anticipation of getting something back. So a great example is MIT Enterprise Forum. Another example is EGG. Another example is the professors in the MIT in Boston. Numerous examples. We couldn't even do 20% of what we've done without their help. And the third is something that I've been trying to follow, because I got so much from help from others. I try to do my best, at least, to give something back, and hopefully, this circle will keep going. And yeah, we'll try to be successful, right? That's the goal. So that's all from me, and thank you.
Thank you, George. Let's have a short break, and then we'll start with the live pitches of the teams that everybody's waiting for. I would like to welcome Angelos Zeniu, co-founder and CEO of Aurora Plasma tool, for a short presentation. Angelos? Angelos, thank you so much. Sorry for breaking your break. Okay, here you are.
How do you use this? So if everyone's here, good evening, everyone. My name is Angelos Zeniu, and I would like to thank MIT Enterprise Forum for giving us the chance to participate in this journey. I am here to represent Aurora Plasma Tools, a spin-out company of NCSR Demokritos, that we are specialized in engineering surfaces. So we have identified a big problem in paint industry, especially the paint problems that apply in all these surfaces, like metal, wood, composite polymers, and like checking, bubbling, blistering. These are all problems that happens because of the dust, air, water, that humidity that is trapped prior the paint. And of course, there isn't an industry that doesn't use paint. Traditional methods for cleaning paint use sandblasting, mechanical abrasion, high-pressure water, but these methods are inadequate due to the particles and the residuals that are left behind. And in most cases, like mechanical abrasion, are labor-intensive, they are damaging, and of course, they sometimes lies potential health risks to the worker. We come here with our technology, which is a cold plasma technology developed in NCSR Demokritos, and we apply it in order to functionalize the surface, clean the surface, down to the micro nanostructures of the substrate prior to the paint. This leaves the surface clean, and this is the technology that we have patented for cleaning, etching, and coating, a green technology that is easy to use, not damaging, and of course, it's thorough and safe. Our business model lies in 2021 to approach retail shipyards in order to start promoting our business, and in 2023 go through distribution in international. And when we are establishing this market, we plan to go into the US modular house market, which is actually a very expanding market in the US, and they have similar problems in their application with paints. We have purchase options of our equipment, which is about 100 to 150K, and we have secondary income streams like lease options and annual maintenance of our device. Just to give a number, only in Greece we have more than 5,000 ships, and I'm talking to luxury yacht ships and sailing boats, that every year has an anti-fouling replaced, and every 5 years they need to have their paint replaced. The investor, which is probably will be our shipyards, only by the lack of only by not using raw materials, they will save up to 1,000, 2,000 to 3,000 euros, depending on the length of the ship. And to a medium shipyard that has 100 ships maintained, this is a 1 year payback. This is our team, which come from the diverse engineering fields. And we are here because we are seeking funding to develop and grow our company for our 2 years implementation that is presented here. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Angelos. And now let us welcome Notis Papasouliotis, founder of BeeNote Plus. Thank you, Notis.
Hello. The commercial honeybee, Apis mellifera, is the most important pollinator in nature. 70% of all the food we consume depends on pollination. And Apis mellifera does the job together with 20,000 other species, bee species. But it is the only one which lives in colonies and also has developed a symbiotic relationship with humans. But even this species is declining. Now, on a different level now, within the European Union, every year, approximately 500,000 of tons of honey are traded. 55% of that is produced internally, and 45% is imported at really low prices from mostly third countries. Now, after that, there is a mix, and the end product is consumed by the European consumers. But it's mostly at low prices, it's sold, and 20% of that is tainted, which is a very high percentage. Honey is the 5th most adulterated food within the European Union. Now, this situation puts the whole domain, the economic aspect of the domain, in great pressure. And European beekeepers, in order to compete, they can do it only on the basis of quality. But quality for honey translates to identity, and which means the origin, to know the origin, the flora origin, and the geographic origin of honey. Now, it's not easy, this, because they work under very difficult conditions. And in order to manage to trace the honey back to its origin, you must have an abundance of ground truth data. You must know you have to have lots of data relating to production. And it's very hard for them. They try, they write anywhere, they write even on rocks, but the result is minimal. And there is a great need for a sophisticated way to record production data. And this is where we come in. Now, we have an application, which is, we use a standard telephone, but everything is voice activated. When the beekeeper starts the application, it's like activating a personal assistant who asks questions about the size of the colony, the weight growth, the pace of its growth, the existence of diseases, food supplies, etc. So the beekeeper answers, and the answers are transcribed automatically on site with the use of voice recognition technology. And then this data is uploaded in a cloud database where it's analyzed and transformed to useful information, which is coming in the form of a decision support system, which has alerts and suggestions for best beekeeping practices. Now, our platform, it's in complete form, will have more sources of information apart from the beekeeper himself. Data coming from satellites, data coming from beehive sensors, and data coming from weather stations. With this information together, with this information all together, we'll be able to provide alternative beekeeping scenarios, improve productivity by a minimum of 30%, and also be able to make accurate predictions for production yield. At the moment, we have invested 25,000 to prepare for beta testing, and we will need 500,000 by the end of year one to establish ourselves in Europe. Our target is to become the #1 bee support system in Europe by 2023. Thank you.
Thank you, Noti. And now let's welcome Dimitris Tsiokos, founder and CEO of Biolume.
So hi, I'm Dimitris. I'm the CEO of Biolume. We created this company with a mission to develop the tool that will accelerate diagnosis of life-threatening infections at the point of care. It's not moving. Okay. I'd like you to introduce you to our inspiration, Achilles. So Achilles, when he was 2, he went through this very aggressive bacterial infection in his bladder. And believe it or not, it took more than 24 hours to diagnose the disease and optimize the antibiotic treatment. Now, everything went okay for Achilles, thank God. But this is not the case for more than 30 million patients every year, that their bacterial infection turns into sepsis. Sepsis basically happens when the bacterium reaches your bloodstream and ignites an unregulated response of your immune system that leads to devastating consequences of internal damage and death. Unfortunately, sepsis remains the #1 cause of death in hospitals nowadays. And the problem is that there's no single blood test to identify the disease. So the clinicians, once they suspect the disease, they go through many different blood tests to try to estimate what is happening and try to optimize the treatment. Now, the problem with all those blood tests is that they may take from a few hours up to a few days to give back the results. And while everybody is waiting for the results, septic patients actually die. And this is exactly where there's a need. I'm sorry, this is not responding. There's a need for point-of-care tests that will give the clinicians the necessary information right next to the patient very, very fast, so they can actually give the right antibiotics on time. Is there a technology like that? It's our technology. We believe we have the technology to solve this problem. So our product will look like this. So on the right, we have a disposable diagnostic chip that collects the blood sample, and then this goes into a reader instrument that analyzes the results and gives back the numbers to the doctor within 20 minutes. Now, our innovation lies in a silicon photonic biosensor chip that is right in the heart of the diagnostic chip. Our value proposition is to help our customers, the hospitals, to save up to to save lives, most importantly, but then also reduce the yearly cost by up to 4 million euro just by treating the sepsis patients on time. The way we want to make money is to sell our tests, disposable tests, and provide the reader to our customer for free. This is our team. We believe we have a good team to make this work. We have experience, long experience in research and development, in silicon photonics, engineering, diagnostic services, and entrepreneurship. And we have a lead advisor, I'm here in France. He has a very long decades of experience in biotech companies, VC-backed IPOs in France and US. Now, our future, we believe we belong next to any disease that requires immediate diagnosis and treatment, either infectious or not. Thank you.
Thank you, Dimitris. I know the time is very tight, and let's welcome here Emmanuel Stamatakis, founder and business manager at Cyrus. Emmanuel. And it works.
Good evening. My name is Emmanuel. I was planning to start somehow different, but after the very nice speak of Mr. Varvarelis, I would like to state that we really don't have a clue what we are doing here. So, let's start. Cyrus, why Cyrus? We are a research team that we are working on hydrogen technologies for over 15 years. Over the last 10 years, we we managed to develop two pilots of compressing hydrogen. Hydrogen compression is a very energy intensive, and we have managed to develop a prototype that uses very low energy in order to compress hydrogen. I would like to start with this phrase from the novel of Julius Verne: "Water will be the coal of the future." And the sailor in this novel responds, "Yes, but we were too early to see that. We were born too early to see that." Fortunately, we were not. Here today, and a few days ago, on the 8th of July, the Commission announced the new strategy of energy transition and hydrogen technologies. There will be a lot of space on introducing hydrogen in various sectors, including transportation and energy and electricity. Here you can see the Commissioner for Energy, Kadri Simpson, that said that hydrogen will play a key role in the energy transition of the European Union, as falling renewable energy prices and continuous innovations make it a viable solution for a climate-neutral economy. And here we are. We have recognized a first, as Cyrus, we have recognized a first market, which is already in place. It's actually, this is a market only for European Union. There is a market existence of 100 million euros for only hydrogen compression, and this is for what we call HRS, hydrogen refueling stations, the stations that you can go with your car to fuel your vehicle with hydrogen. We are targeting now the heavy-duty vehicle market, which requires hydrogen compression of 350 bar. And this figure is for that market, for heavy-duty vehicles. We expect, and this is not just EU projections, but by 2025 we expect to almost to double this market. And this is with a commitment of almost half of the European countries that we will develop at least 830 new HRS in Europe. And there we want to introduce our product. Sorry. This is some figures. This is only one of our advantages. We have a very low OPEX comparing to the commercial mechanical compressors. And we are silent-free because we have no moving parts. We have a thermal compression method that we have developed. And we hope that we will manage to reach that market very soon. We are very new. We have almost 1 year old, only 1 year life. We were born in 2019, last year. And we have already managed to acquire a first kick accelerator program and a small fund from Unifund in order to grow our business. Thank you.
Thank you, Manuel. And now let's welcome Anna Golfinopoulou, Application Engineer and Energenics. Anna, the floor is yours.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Anna Golfinopoulou, and I am the lead application engineer at Energenics, where our passion and mission is to deliver renewable energy to the world with zero CO2 footprint. Okay. Now, relying on other renewable energy sources, we can see that solar is consistent but short in period, while wind is strong but dependent only on wind strength. At Energenics, our system is taking advantage of the temperature differential and can provide power no matter what the weather or season. This is based on the thermoelectric effect, where different materials on different temperatures can generate power and high voltage. Our novel design has the ability to generate power and reach peak power at 20 degrees Celsius differential. We have the chance to be extremely competitive, given the fact that the total cost for 1 kilowatt hour of our system is about 4 cents, comparing to a solar system, which is about 10 cents. Moreover, the surface that our system needs to be used is way less than a solar system needs. Another great advantage of ours is the installation time of our system, which is almost half of what a solar system needs to be installed. Based on our financial projections, we aim to meet our break-even point at the end of 2022 in order to saturate our beachhead market, which is Swedish market, and then expand to Russia and Canada. We will succeed because we understand complex systems and we come from different kind of areas such as management, business development, and high-tech systems. Rapid growth will come with compliant integration. For now, our project is self-funded, but we aim to raise 250K in order to fabricate 20 sample units, deploy a fully operational prototype, and run our alpha test in Sweden and Germany. After that, we aim to file our patents for EU core markets and US core markets, then expand to US and Russia, and finally sign our first 8 distributors. We welcome you to join the journey for making Energenics a reality. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Anna. Let's welcome Antonis Preges, founder and CEO at Finloop. Adonis.
Good evening. My name is Antonis Preges, and I'm the CEO and co-founder at Finloop. Finloop aims to change the insurance claims experience by 2023. Let me share a story with you. In 2019, my co-founder Marios had a car accident. At the time, he had a mid-range insurance, a somewhat low wage, no savings, and no credit card. His insurance couldn't cover him, so to repair his car, he had to immediately raise 1,300 euros. He couldn't. Instead, he saved up cash to eventually fix his car 9 months later. There are actually 3.5 million people who may end up just like Marios. When a consumer has a car or health emergency, she calls her insurer. The insurer, in turn, tows her to a garage or refers to a hospital. However, for those people, 1 in 2 car cases gets dropped due to out-of-pocket costs, while 1 in 10 health cases may end up with unmet needs. And that is because 43% of individuals cannot raise 900 euros within a month. Finloop helps solve that problem through open banking. At the point of service, the insurer shares the emergency details with Finloop. We then collect consumers' banking data and instantly verify share income and create a behavioral scoring profile. Based on that analysis, we get microloan offers from lenders and let the consumer choose what fits her best. In a few minutes, she has solved her problem by paying in an efficient online way while still at the point of service. Our team is experienced in complementary aspects of the finance sector. We have built open API platforms and credit score models for Greek systemic banks. We've re-engineered credit operations for lenders, and we've designed information security systems for banks and insurers. Finloop is conveniently misspelled with a U. That is because our vision is to break the infinite loop of toxic credit. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Adonis. And now let's have Alex Aisanas, founder and CEO at Homey. Alex?
Hello, everybody. My name is Alexandros, and I'm the CEO and co-founder of Homey, a real estate technology company. Every single one of us has the right to a safe and comfortable home. Unfortunately, finding that place to live can be difficult. However, shouldn't this process be easy and pain-free? Well, in Greece, it's challenging and time-consuming. But why is it so hard? In an ideal world, these two parties would deal directly with each other to sell or rent a home. But if they only do it a few times in their lives, this could lead to disaster. Agents are supposed to make things easier, but in many cases, they make it more difficult. They act as gatekeepers of information, produce poor quality listings, and worst of all, in the case of rentals, they charge a full month's rent just for showing the tenant the property. They charge the tenant. This is a huge problem for many tenants who cannot afford 3 months' rent upfront to secure their property. Landlords also suffer from excessive fees as their properties can remain empty for long periods of time. This is where Homey comes in. By equipping buyers, tenants and landlords with the right tools, we make the process easier and more efficient for everybody. Let's see how we do it. Firstly, you go and see the Homey listing with all the accurate information that you need. You then take a virtual tour and see a 3D floor plan. If you like what you see, you book a viewing online and you close it within a few clicks. And you can also speak directly with the landlord via the app, via the platform. Let's see how we compare to the rest of the market. Okay. So the traditional business model here in Greece is a typical agent will charge both buyers and sellers 2% commission for a sale and a full month's rent to both parties of a rental agreement. This model is necessary for them to cover their high cost base. In contrast, Homey is completely free for buyers and tenants. We charge landlords a fixed fee to sell their property, regardless of the asking price, and just half a month's rent to find a new tenant. Since the semi-finals, Homey has rented out 15 properties, onboarded a further 20 listings, and attracted 190 users to the platform, 5 more since we sent the slides through. We can scale fast because, number one, we do not conduct viewings, our landlords do. Number two, our tech allows us to rapidly price properties and upload them to the most popular platforms within minutes. And number three, we do not need an army of workers to handle inquiries, as we facilitate direct communication between landlords and prospective tenants, buyers. The people responsible for the success. Our tech guy is Yanni, with 2 years' experience as a full-stack developer. Christian is my co-founder and CFO, with solid buy-side investment banking experience in London. Christian ensures we stay on track to achieve our targets. And myself, I have 5 years of real estate and wealth management experience across Melbourne, New York and London. I'm on the ground serving customers and ensuring the team has the required resources to achieve the success. Christian and I are determined to be an example for Greeks of first, second and third generations abroad to come back to Greece and to help the economy grow by doing the ideas here, such as us. We'd like for you to be part of the journey, so you can book your free valuation now via our platform. Thank you.
Thank you, Alexandros. And now let's have Vasilis Georgitsikis, founder and CEO at Less Engines.
Right. Hi, everyone. My name is Vasilis Georgitsikis, but no one can say my name, so everybody calls me Zikis. And I'm here to talk to you about Less Engines, convince you that less is more, and tell you what we do. So first of all, you would think, based on the name, that we are building engines, but we're not. Essentially, what we have is a patented mechanism that converts reciprocating motion to rotary motion. And what that means is that if you have this thing going up and down, you convert it to a circular movement. This thing is a key component in compressors, pumps, and internal combustion engines, and we've built a prototype for each of those applications. And basically, you can build the same thing doing the same job with reduced size and more efficient. Now, those three things that I mentioned are key components in a host of huge industries, from maritime industry, oil and gas, cars, of course, to your refrigerator and medical devices. So they're everywhere around us. And we are targeting two specific industries in the beginning. So first of all, we're doing irrigation and water supply with pumps and outboard motors, meaning exolemvias for us in Greek, in terms of the engine. So in terms of the irrigation, basically, these are things that are installed 200 meters below the surface, and they pump water out so that we can drink it. And they're very inefficient and costly, and we come up with a product that's half the cost and a quarter of the size, and size matters. And essentially, another very important thing is that we can build it, manufacture it, and distribute it in Greece in 6 months with our partners. In terms of the engine, on the left, you can see an existing engine out there in the market with a traditional mechanism, and on the right is the exact same engine, consuming the exact same fuel in the exact same way, so doing the exact same job, only it's using our mechanism, and it's basically cheaper, it's lighter and smaller. It's basically 30% smaller and lighter, and it requires less maintenance as well. Now, this is the team. You might notice that we all have the same weird last name. That's because we're a family, so you could say that we've known each other for quite a long time. I'm a computer engineer. I'm a serial entrepreneur, having started my first startup in 2012 and sold it in 2017. My father is the mechanical engineer and the principal innovator behind the patent, so he has decades of experience building these kind of things. And my sister, Elpida, she studied electrical engineering, and she's been working as a corporate consultant for many years, first at McKinsey and other corporates, and she makes sure that we have the right business strategy and we're doing the right things. This is a plan for the next 3 years. In terms of the pump, you can see that we are launching our first product in the Greek market in 6 months, and our goal is to sell about 30 pumps in Greece in the next 3 years and have a market-proven product. And in terms of the engine, we have, and R&D in general, we have a 500,000 euro research grant from the Greek government that will allow us to extend our patent coverage, and it will also allow us to build a second prototype of the engine that we can showcase to engine manufacturers and license it. So this is what we do. I hope you liked it, and if you find it interesting, please come talk to him. Thank you very much.
So, next one in line, George Campanis, founder and CEO at Mobito.
Hi, thank you for being here. I'm George Campanis. I'm a co-founder of Mobito, and it's my pleasure to present to your company and our vision to make urban life better. We enable businesses to monetize from their own data, and at the same time, businesses and cities to access external data in order to make better decisions. The mobility ecosystem today is composed of many and new players, such as the scooters we see on the streets, the cars we're driving, us pedestrians, and the many sensors that are being installed on roads. All of these players and actors are generating a lot of valuable information, but the companies that want to access this information for their operations are finding it very hard to do so. The way we see the mobility ecosystem, we see a mess of too many uncoordinated single solution providers, and a situation in which it's becoming increasingly difficult for the different stakeholders to interact with one another. And the way we address this problem is with a mobility data marketplace that enables companies to seamlessly place mobility data and monetize from them, but also access external mobility data. And we take the same technology and we offer it to our city clients with our city terminal that allows our cities to orchestrate their own mobility ecosystem and take control of their own data. One slide for each. Looking into the mobility data marketplace, our value proposition is to provide a seamless integration with diverse mobility data. As one practical use case, we're working with tour operators that want to access particular contextual information in a city, such as how crowded given areas are, or what's the cultural content associated with given areas. Usually, they would need to integrate with many different providers. Through Mobito platform, they can integrate with a single API endpoint and get access to the information they need. On the city terminal, we help cities to use the data that exists in their own cities to make better data-driven decisions. As one use case, we're working with a city in Portugal where we help them to integrate data from the local bus operators and use this data to understand better the performance of that operator. Our business model, we see potential in monetizing on both sides of the platform. In terms of the mobility data marketplace, we monetize on the supply side, companies that want to monetize from their own data, which face a subscription, freemium subscription model. And on the other hand, companies that want to access data face a pay-as-you-go model where Mobito makes a margin on top of the value of the data transaction. With our city clients, we offer a yearly subscription, which is adjusted for the size of the city and some local parameters. And we think we have the right team. We have an amazing team in Athens and in Brussels. We've gained deep industry expertise from a previous successful startup in the mobility space. And this brings us to today, where we're raising around 400,000, addressing business angels to join us and build a strong team. We've already secured half of that amount, and I invite you to join us in building the mobility of tomorrow. Thank you.
Thank you, George, and let's welcome Aliki Jovita, founder and CEO at Narratologists. Aliki.
So hello, I'm Aliki, CEO and co-founder of Narratologists, and together we're going to experience the city through play. So, till now, the traditional way for someone to explore the city is to book a tour guide, move around in big groups, get loads of information in a very typical and predefined way. But the needs of millennial travelers, the travelers of today and tomorrow, have changed as they are tech-savvy, mobile, game-friendly. They seek for instant gratification and access to personalized content and information. And that is exactly what Narratologists has to offer. A mobile app that provides city game experiences that are private, they are flexible, they are fun, and they are personalized. And our aim is to connect the travelers to our selected network of partners that are both from the cultural and the commercial field. And what they gain is an innovative advertising tool that actually brings potential customers to their physical spaces. But how does exactly this work? So first of all, you get your friends or family, you download our app freely from our platform, get into one of the starting points in the city, and start playing. Each player can choose their personal avatar. As you can see, they're all inspired from local figures of the city. And the first player comes to play. The game is location-based. He can choose from 5 minutes walking distance points next to him. Through a series of questions and answers, he gains points that he can actually redeem them through vouchers and gifts that our selected network of partners offer. How does this really work? We provide the app with a freemium model and in-app purchases to our end user, and our selected network of partners that are from hotels, museums, F&Bs, and local shops. They get charged advertising revenues segmented in cost per click, cost per visit, cost per purchase, and cost per social media share. Due to the COVID-19 situation, we also developed city games that you can play from the safety of your home, and they can also work as a marketing tool. And with Anastasia, CTO of the company, we had been collaborating for the last couple of years when we met in our master's degree in digital humanities. We have professional experience in game design, game development, and tour guiding, and we have with us our advisors that are both experts from the academic and research field and business field. So before MITEF, we had our pilot with Athens Municipality, Athens International Airport. In the alpha version of the app, we had signed in 26 local shops. And this is what we have achieved till today. So we are now launching the beta version of our app, so feel free to join our journey and try it out. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Aliki. And now, let's welcome Yorgos Pikramenos, CEO at Optic Charge. Yorgos?
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is George Pikramenos, and I am co-founder and CEO of Optic Charge, an innovation in charging company. Electric transportation has been identified as a key step in green energy reformation, with governments across the globe providing incentives for electric vehicle utilization. A major challenge we are facing in this transition to clean transportation is charging. Expanding charging infrastructure raises grid stability issues. Moreover, infrastructure is expensive, making up another challenge which may slow down charging network development. But perhaps even most challenging is to take advantage of all the opportunities created by this expanding charging network. For example, researchers estimate that the maximum renewables penetration without flexible loads can reach a level of 55%. An electric vehicle is perhaps the ultimate flexible load, and appropriate charging management can help renewables utilization reach much higher thresholds. At Optic Charge, we solve charging. Our solution, consisting of software and hardware, is an interface between charging facilities and electric vehicles, which enables configurable and fully automated power management and reduces the required volume of charging facilities to a minimum. We are an intelligence layer, transparent to vehicle owners, which optimizes charging cost efficiency, renewables utilization, while ensuring power grid stability and enabling vehicle owners to participate in the energy market. So how do we do it? We have developed a series of algorithmic solutions which compute optimal charge schedules in real time, designed to carry out the aforementioned optimizations. Our developed AI-driven application learns driver behavioral patterns in a privacy-preserving manner and ensures that EV availability is not compromised. OptiBox, our patented hardware, enables one charger to serve multiple electric vehicles at a time, further extending our margin for optimization. OptiBox is plug-and-play and compatible with every electric vehicle and charger in the market. Finally, our solution acts as an aggregator software powered by blockchain technology and smart contracts, enabling electric vehicle owners to participate in the energy market. We've also introduced Opticoin, the first Greek energy cryptocurrency. By March 2020, we gained the auspices of the Greek Ministry of Environment and Energy and the support of the National and Technical University of Athens. We have secured strategic cooperations with Hellenic Electricity Distribution Network Operator, the Independent Power Transmission Operator, and other key players in the fields of energy and innovation. This month, we submitted a proposal for EU funding aiming at the acceleration of electric mobility integration in Greece. A pilot program of our product is scheduled for September at the Ministry of Environment and Energy, while our first client installments will start in October. Thank you very much for your time and attention.
Next one, Tassos Sirivakos, business executive at PyDust. Oh. Tassos, you're having a fun club over there. Nice here, though.
All right. Hello, thank you very much for joining us tonight. I'm Tassos, and I'll get you through quickly on how we extract realistic results from complex chemistry through quantum computing. So let's start with who needs that. This is needed mainly from the pharmaceutical industry. They need tons of money and lots of time in order to build a drug and get it out in the market. So in theory, how the drug development began in the beginning, it's something like that. We have a theory about which molecule can tackle what disease, and then we try and spend time and money in the lab trying to get that drug out, trying to find what works best. With technology moving on through the 90s, simulations came into the game. So what changed is that instead of going straight into the lab, we could somehow see how molecules will react and try to narrow down the possible candidates that will go into the lab. But this is not very sustainable and can't be done for much complex molecules. I'm sorry. This is where quantum computing comes in. Quantum computers can help us scale this, can help us see how more complex molecules behave and arrive in the end to a much bigger number of new potential drugs. And what we do, how we do this is by harnessing the incredible speed that they have, which enables us to derive to more precise solutions and increase molecule complexity. The secret in the software, which essentially is a software as a service, it's a quite well-known model, it works as follows. So the researcher inputs the parameters of the molecule in the system, and the system comes out, returns some results, namely the ground state energy, which is the most important thing for them to know. But the secret is how this calculation is executed. We begin with a classical calculation. What would you get if you had a classical simulation program right now? Then we input proprietary encoding, which is how we translate physics into the algorithm part. And then we apply the quantum algorithms, of course, so that this software can be run in a quantum chip, in a quantum computer. And just to give you an idea about how big this market is expected to become, this is a chart from Boston Consulting Group about how they think that this scene is going to move forward for the next 20 years. So as you can see, the numbers are very big. This is very promising. And about the team, everything started from Bill, who is the CEO, and he knows about quantum information. He has experience in a direct competitor, actually. Then Slav came in and helped him start the initial idea. He has experience in investments. We have Dimitris, who is the chemist guy. He knows about chemistry. He knows what these scientists need to see, need to know. Paraskevas is the software engineering and IT expert. He makes everything run smoothly. And myself, I have some experience in entrepreneurship through a family business. In order for us to be competitive, because this is a very early stage, the technology is on a very early stage, and it's a very immature scene, and we can't really know what's going to happen, we need to act fast. So the first thing for us is to raise an initial round of 1.5 million in order to get a team, scale the product, partner with scientific contributors in order to know that this is moving in the right direction, and finally, by the end of 2022, get our first 10 user agreements, talking about researchers mainly. And then the second thing that needs to be done is scale this product, expand in the next industry, in the biotech industry, most importantly, and sign the next client so that we arrive at what's at the top right corner of 2024, which is the exit. We believe that this is a very fast-paced industry and that we need to act fast. So this has to be aggressive, and this is why we need 2 rounds for the next 5 years. This is for me. Thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you, Tassos, and let's welcome George Kretas, the next one, CEO at Rescue Biotech.
Kalispera σας, I am Yorgos Kretas and I represent Rescue Biotech. Our company applies innovative biotechnologies to develop new and effective drugs against protein misfolding diseases. Misfolding diseases are a large group of devastating diseases that include conditions like Alzheimer's disease, Parkinson's, type 2 diabetes, and other disorders that affect hundreds of millions of people worldwide. The vast majority of these conditions remain incurable, so currently there is a great need for the development of effective therapeutics against these conditions. Misfolding diseases are caused because certain proteins in our bodies acquire a problematic shape, or in other words, because these proteins are a little kinked or wrinkled. At Rescue Biotech, we develop molecules that specifically recognize these pathogenic wrinkled proteins and convert them back into a normally folded form that is non-pathogenic. Rescue Biotech advances early-stage drug discovery by exploiting the tremendous power of biotechnology. We have generated genetically engineered bacteria that function as a standalone living discovery platform for drugs rescuing disease-related protein misfolding. Our platform works in 2 stages. First, we have converted the bacteria into a cell factory for the production of hundreds of millions to tens of billions of different molecules. Then, we have converted the bacteria further so that they can also produce the human protein that we want to target in its misfolded form. And we have programmed them in such a way so that the bacteria producing molecules that can fix this misfolding suddenly become green fluorescent. In this manner, we can pick the good green soldiers that produce the bioactive molecules almost instantaneously. This technology offers a number of important advantages. First, it allows us to investigate an enormous library of molecules to start the discovery process, and this enhances significantly the chances of identifying compounds with the desired properties. Second, it allows us to investigate molecules which have never been studied before. Third, our technology is super simple, fast, and cheap. And finally, it is a platform technology that can be readily applicable to potentially every protein misfolding disease. Imagine the impact of that. At Rescue Biotech, we perform drug discovery and development with those molecules that come out of the bacteria at the preclinical stage. The end users of our molecules are the patients, but our customers are large pharma companies who want to enrich their pipelines with new drugs. We will generate revenue by licensing out these molecules that we have discovered and developed in-house to these pharmaceutical companies. We will also have additional sources of income that include signing agreement with other industry partners for drug co-discovery against targets of their choice, plus biotech side products which are developed along the way. Our team combines many years of experience in biotech, pharmaceutical sciences, neuroscience, and business development, and we're all very passionate about innovations that will bring effective drugs into the market that will help improve the quality of human life. We ask for your support to achieve our goal. Thank you very much.
And now, let's have Michalis Agapiou, CEO at Synthesis Integrated Solutions.
Good evening. I'm Michalis Agapiou, CEO of Synthesis, where our mission is to provide integrated IT solutions for greener seas. 90% of maritime trade is carried by sea. We really are in need of a sustainable shipping for a sustainable planet. In Synthesis, we believe that this can be achieved through a combination of enhanced regulatory compliance and ship performance optimization. New environmental regulations have entered recently into force, obliging ships to report and have independently verified on an annual basis their fuel consumption and emissions. This adds up to the workload of crew on board and technical personnel on shore, causing them to become inefficient in providing and performing more important tasks, such as analyzing timely the data necessary for ship performance optimization. And this is where Synthesis steps in. We provide a technology enabler for ship management companies. We actually have a cloud-based software which integrates existing technology and reporting systems on board ships, enriches them with satellite positioning, navigational status, and weather data. And in addition, we perform advanced analytics and validations and continuous pre-verification activities. This way, we can provide reliable and accurate, actionable insights to ship management companies for cutting fuel costs. By combining the results in standardized reports and by providing secure remote access to the data to the regulatory authorities, we can facilitate the overall regulatory process. This means that Synthesis can serve all relevant regulatory requirements and all involved parties' needs at the same time, making compliance easy for all involved parties. Moreover, this way of action permits the introduction of blockchain technology into the process of regulations enforcement by reporting, verifying, and certifying. Data is gold, and by collecting real-time data and creating historic data databases, Synthesis can further offer services to maritime industry companies, government authorities, and port authorities. Our primary market are ship management companies, and this is the way we access the market. We offer the service that they had a need based on a regulation. This gives us a chance on annual renewal of services to offer added value services such as ship performance optimization using the exact same data set they need for regulatory compliance. Our end goal is to access the maritime big data market, which is a much bigger market amounting to $3.24 billion by end of 2025. We have a diverse and experienced management team. We have an already established global network of strategic partners, and we have an accelerated high market penetration route. Starting off with our own limited resources, we managed to penetrate the market and achieve self-sustainability since year one. 400 ships are currently served by Synthesis. What we are looking for is €500,000 in order to provide us a 2-year runway for strengthening our team and infrastructure, upgrading our software to blockchain version 3, and scaling up fast, thus gaining the train in order to penetrate the maritime big data market. Thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you, Michalis. And now, last but not least, Stefano Savvakis, CEO at Sarm project.
Hello. 5 years ago, we started our company because of everything that Mr. Alexopoulos said earlier to us. Electricity is not going to be able soon enough to solve all of our problems. By 2030, we expect that only 10% of cars, of global vehicles produced will be fully electric. So we created the Sarm team, and we decided to offer a 400 billion industry, design an engine that is actually more innovative than anything that everyone saw before. We're talking about a lighter, smaller engine that requires no lubrication to work, and it's affordable, green, powerful. It's working with e-fuels, hydrogen, and it's the perfect solution for novel applications such as drones, where we can offer an engine that has low vibrations, low weight and size and cover long distances and carry heavy weights. It's a perfect solution for military or commercial purposes. But as we were developing this engine, the story became even more interesting because we found 3 new products that share the similar attributes as the engine, since they are based on the same designs. And these are namely our SARC, our gas compressor, our gas expander, and our pump. We decided that our gas compressor is the best for us to start with because it is easier for us to enter the market. We are addressing a 20 billion market of energy and oil and gas applications, and we are offering them a machine that reduces their costs, operational, purchase, and maintenance by up to 50%. This is a game changer for these industries. And we're very excited because we have adopted a new technology. It's metal 3D printing. It allows us to reduce our time and our costs by up to 80%. That means that we're actually able to produce a prototype every 2 weeks instead of 4 to 6 months, and at a fraction of the cost. That helps us bring our compressor to the market by 2021. Our first prototype is being assembled right now. By October, we will have the testing ready, and the pilot start by early 2021. And during the year, by the end at the latest, we will have the commercial phase. We're very proud of our team. We're thankful to them. They're the ones that brought us here, and they're the ones, we didn't have all of their pictures, they're the ones who helped us expand in Spain, Germany, through Axel Accelerator, USA, through AG, and make collaborations and partnerships with universities such as Brunel and Bath in the UK, the Aristotle University in Thessaloniki, and the National Technical University in Athens, who will all help us create pilots, sell our products, test them, and they're very supportive, all of them. Thank you very much. I'm sorry I drank a little bit of beer. So have a nice evening, everyone.
Septem works well. We love this. So that was the end of the presentations. We really hope you enjoyed it and you didn't feel very tired after all this. So I think the time that we're all waiting is here. So I'll start announcing the second runner-up, sorry. So, are you ready? Anna Maria, are you ready? Okay, so the second runner-up for this year competition, Startup Competition 2020, is Synthesis. So, Michalis Agapiou. Michalis Agapiou, are you coming? Okay. No. Can we have Iasos Stefanatos here, please, to give the prize? Thank you. Okay, here you are. This Michalis is the winner of the Maritime track also. This is the third prize, second runner-up, third prize, and the Maritime. Oops. Oops.
Bad luck.
Oh, no, this is not bad luck.
It's good luck, huh?
Yeah, it's just you differentiate from the others.
Yeah, let's hope so.
Εντάξει. Let's have a picture all together. Thank you. And now let's have Vasilis Papakonstantinou to give the prize to the first runner-up, and Anna Maria. And the first runner-up for this 2020 startup competition is Homi. So, Alex? Είσαστε πολύ σοβαροί όλοι. Okay. So, Gerasimos, you may come. And this is the time that we're all waiting for. So the winner for 2020 competition, startup competition, number 1, is Rescue Biotech. As you have seen, we have to give the general track also. Because George is the winner from the general track also, so this is the additional... What happened? We have a problem with the plexiglass. I know. Okay. This is a new thing we have, that every track has his winner. Okay. These are, I think, COVID prices. There's something wrong with those. So we have to change the provider, I think. Okay, so since we give a prize for every specialty track winner, Iason gave to the Maritime, George take from general, and now I'll have to ask for Mr. Kergis to give the winner for energy track, the person that had the higher grades from the energy track, and is Stefanos Savakis from the Sarm project. So let's have Vice President Vasilis have a nice closure.
So we managed to overshoot by 50% the time we had allotted, but I think it was very interesting. I hope you enjoyed the presentations in the beginning and also from the startups. We had everything from hospitality all the way to quantum computing. I never thought that we would get to the point we see a startup with providing quantum computing in our competition. As Gerasimos said, when we started out, we wanted to help make Greece a startup hub, a technology hub by 2021. We are less than a year away. We've came closer to the goal that we ever hoped at the beginning. We actually, I would have to echo we didn't know what we were starting, but hopefully with your help, we'll try to make it. So next year, we'll be here with more teams, better teams, topping even the very good ones that we had this year. So thank you. There's a very nice reception waiting for you on the other side of the building. So let's have a beer and some nice delicacies. Thank you all. Good night.